This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Thursday, the 9th day of February in the year 2023. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting, and here's what we're tracking tonight. Although Guyana will be pumping billions of dollars into the gas-to-energy project at Wales, the government will still be saddled with another price tag for the purchase of the delivered gas. At a press conference today, the president of ExxonMobil Guyana, Alastair Rutledge, while maintaining that the company will not rake in any profit from the sale of gas to Guyana, the country will still have to carry the price tag for the supplied gas. The multi-billion-dollar project, which includes the construction of a 300-megawatt power plant, is expected to be completed by the end of next year. Prime Minister Mark Phillips recently announced that Exxon's affiliate, Esso Exploration and Production Guyana, will inject $1 billion to foot the cost to construct the pipeline. At a press conference today, the ExxonMobil president confirmed the company's investment to construct the pipeline, but noted that the costs will be recovered through the sale of the gas to the operators of the power plant.
Clearly, we're making an investment that's incremental to the original developments offshore in order to transport the gas onshore. That's mostly the pipeline, and that's several $100 million worth of investment. So in some way it needs to recover that cost. And so the way that's been agreed is, well, okay, let's make sure that a price is put on the gas that reflects just that cost of infrastructure.
Mr. Rutledge emphasized that there will be no profit element, and the revenues received from the production and delivery of the gas will be used to cover the cost of the pipeline's infrastructure.
The gas itself we're selling the full 50 million cubic feet a day to the government or a government entity that's being established in order to receive the gas, put it through the power station, it's at that point. The government takes control of the gas and the associated natural gas liquids and can determine, does all of the gas flow into the power station if needed, or does it go into some other kind of industry?
The Exxon boss said based on studies done, Exxon will be able to release up to 50 million cubic feet of gas per day without impacting the recovery of oil. Once the cost to construct the pipeline is fully recovered, the profit will split.
The cost recovery mechanism is very clear in the contract that when costs are recovered, then all other revenues go to the profit side of the calculation, and then those are split between the government, the country, and the investors.
The ExxonMobil Guyana president said through the arrangement with the government of Guyana, gas will be delivered to the operators of the power plant at an extremely low price when compared to the international market. President Irfan Ali has repeatedly stated that there will be an almost 50% reduction in the cost of power generation once the facility goes into operation. For ExxonMobil, it is a win-win situation.
For us, what motivates us on gas to energy is that we can clearly see the benefit to the country. You know, we came to the country wanting to ensure that everyone benefits. Clearly, it needs to be a win-win-win, as our chairman said recently. It needs to be a win for the investors, of course, otherwise it doesn't attract the investment. But it needs to be a win for the government and its ambition to develop the country, but ultimately for all the citizens in the country.
Rutledge also noted the impact will be positively felt across the sector, and ExxonMobil is pleased to be part of the process. Back in January, Prime Minister Mark Phillips told the National Assembly that while government is funding the engineering, procurement and construction costs for the power plant and the natural gas liquids plant, it will be required to repay the company over a 20-year period for the construction of the pipeline. Concerned over the financial arrangement for the entire project, the opposition APNU-AFC has since filed a parliamentary motion to have the government hand over all of the documents related to the multi-billion-dollar project. More news coming up in just a moment.
It's been a long time coming. Overdue, some might say. But now that it's here, it will change life forever. And it is here to stay. The future is now. Transforming Guyana into the 21st century. Introducing GTT Fiber. Experience internet connectivity like never before. Speeds you deserve at prices you can afford from a name you can trust. Sign up today. GTT Fiber is here. GTT. Together, we rise faster.
Giftland Office Max, we're all about customer satisfaction. Whether it's clothing and shoes for the ladies, gents, and kids, or for the latest electronics or hardware appliance, we're always thinking of satisfying you, our dear customers. Now you can shop online at www.giftlandofficemax.com or visit us at the Giftland Mall, where we're happy to serve each and every one of you.
At the most critical life-changing moments, the National Insurance Scheme is here to ensure that your needs are covered. Access reimbursement for medical expenses for various aspects of your medical care. We know that eye care is of utmost importance. Receive assistance with our Spectacle Care voucher. Visiting the dentist? Dental care is also covered under our sickness benefit services. Offset the funeral expenses of a loved one with costs covered by our funeral benefits. National Insurance Scheme. We're there every step of the way.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Welcome back. 3 members of a Herstelling family are facing serious money laundering charges amounting to over 4 billion Guyana dollars. That's billion with a B. The family has been under investigation for over 3 years, and they are accused of laundering money for Chinese businesses. According to a statement from the police, its Special Organized Crime Unit conducted a probe of Kenneth Ramnarine and his reputed wife, Yvette Sarup, and Kenneth's son, Damien Ramnarine. The 3 are facing a total of 268 money laundering charges. According to Soku, the 3 persons knowingly converted or transferred money in question, knowing that the money was garnered as proceeds of organized crime. The 3 family members are accused of conducting multiple suspicious transactions at several financial institutions in Guyana, raising concerns that they may be involved in money laundering activities. Soku said it based on large cash deposits through the business accounts of Kenneth Ramnarine's business. The sources of funds could not be ascertained, although most of the deposits were attributed to sales from biodegradable food boxes sold to local businesses, particularly Chinese restaurants. The head of Soku claimed that a substantial number of wire transfers amounting to over $3.7 billion were sent to 22 companies in China under the pretext of importing raw materials to produce biodegradable products, while other sums were disguised locally, totaling over $4.1 billion. Soku did not name any of the Chinese businesses that are under investigation as part of the money laundering enterprise. Soku said its investigators did not find any legitimate source of the funds, which the accused wire transferred out of Guyana. The accused actions suggested that they may be operating as nominees for some Chinese businesses and also facilitating tax evasion through Ken's trading enterprise, Soku said. Soku reportedly also checked with a number of businesses that were listed as a source of the funds, and those investigations saw those businesses denying any involvement in any large business transaction with any member of the family. Soku also monitored the lifestyle of the 3 accused. The husband and wife were arrested during an attempt to flee the country, according to Soku, and the son later turned himself over to the investigators. They have all been remanded to prison pending the next court date. With the government rolling out spending from its $781.9 billion budget with a heavy focus on infrastructure, the APNU-AFC opposition believes that there must be strict oversight to minimize waste and address issues of fraud and corruption. At the opposition leader's weekly press conference this morning, opposition leader Aubrey Norton said the public procurement system must do its job related to contracts and contractors for the major government projects that will be rolled out.
For 2023, the government has allocated Guyana $388 billion for capital expenditure. Most of this money will be spent on infrastructure projects such as roads and public buildings. Guyanese should be aware that almost all of the Guyana $388 billion will be filtered through the public procurement system. In other words, through contracts to be awarded by government, ministries, state agencies, and regional democratic councils. Against this backdrop, there is need for the government to put in place measures to A, to minimize corruption and financial mismanagement, and B, to ensure equitable allocation of contracts across groups in the society.
Norton stated that the coalition delivered quality infrastructure at a much lower cost than the present PP civic government, and the fact that the current government is paying almost double for a poorer standard of work in many instances points to what he called corruption and fraud.
The revelation by Member of Parliament David Patterson during his budget presentation indicated that the PPP road contracts are costing taxpayers $40 million per kilometer more than under the coalition government. This highlights the crisis of corruption and financial mismanagement in the public procurement system at present. This should not be left unchecked, since the crisis will worsen. The Guyanese people will get fewer and fewer returns relative to the money invested in capital projects. In public spending, citizens must always demand cost minimization, efficiency or output maximization, and effectiveness or full attainment of the intended results. This does not occur under the PPP.
The opposition leader chastised the government for failing to inform the nation of any intention to stem the hemorrhaging of public funds through fraud and financial mismanagement. According to Norton, from all indications, the government seems more comfortable being what he called a facilitator and co-conspirator in the abuse of the people money, as the government pursues its policy of enriching its elites, family, friends, and favorites. Norton said the citizens of Guyana must join the opposition in keeping a close eye and watch on the major projects being undertaken by the government across the country. Well, days after the APNU-AFC raised questions about the cost for that massive headquarters being built for ExxonMobil Guyana at Ogle, the oil company today confirmed that the cost of the multi-million US dollar facility will be recovered from the sale of oil, which will impact the total revenue Guyana is likely to earn in the coming years. The in-country headquarters is expected to cost more than $160 million US dollars, and according to the president at ExxonMobil Guyana, Alastair Rutledge, that cost will be recovered as provided for under the Stabroek Block production sharing agreement.
Well, it will be the operating center for the offshore operations. So, I mean, I see the word HQ attached to it, but to me it's not a headquarters, it's an office that will support the offshore operations, like this one does today.
Mr. Rutledge said the cost recovery mechanism embedded in the Stabroek Block PSA is pellucidly clear and existed even under the former APNU-AFC government. Under the terms of that PSA, Guyana is entitled to 2% of all pre-cost revenues as royalty and 50% of all profit. However, the agreement provides for as much as 75% of the revenue to go towards cost recovery. Rutledge said ExxonMobil has been in constant communication with the Ministry of Natural Resources about the cost of the facility and the rate of its construction. Noting that it is a fit-for-purpose facility, Mr. Rutledge said the project will aid in the better management of the company's offshore operations in the Stabroek Block.
It's not going to be some, fancy lots of glass on the outside. This is a fit-for-purpose development. The inside will be very functional with all the technology. One floor of one of the buildings will almost entirely be put aside to operating facilities, including control rooms, monitoring facilities for the offshore operations connected by fiber optic. So it's very much an integral part of the offshore operation.
Currently, more than 250 persons are operating out of the ExxonMobil Kingston office. And according to the president of the company, that number is expected to surpass 500 soon. He said it is important for the staff to operate in an environment that will increase their efficiency. Earlier this week, Opposition Member of Parliament Ganesh Mahipal submitted a number of questions to the National Assembly on the construction of the oil company's headquarters. He had said that if the cost of the facility is recoverable, the Minister of Natural Resources, Vikram Bharat, should inform the House on the real-time monitoring mechanisms that are in place to ensure costing is not overpriced.
Mobil 1 is more than oil. It's many oils. It transforms at the molecular level. When cold, it's thicker than honey. When hot, it's thinner than water. Mobil 1 adapts and readapts to last longer. 16,000 kilometers between oil changes. That's your engine evolved.
Sol Guyana is the authorized distributor of Mobil lubricants.
Combo pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, is the best mix, so we feeling best. Best value to how you're feeling. Ole cheesy, too much ripples and more combo pack of flavors galore, yeah. Combo pack up, we feeling best. Sunshine stacks above the rest. There is no contest, is the best mix, so we feeling best. Sunshine Snacks Combo Pack, now with a new look and new mix. Grab your pack today. Best mix, so we feeling best.
Anson Mini Mart is now open to serve your everyday wants and needs. Our experienced pharmacists will help you feel your best, ensuring you bring home everything you need. We guarantee you will come back for everything you want. Our team is friendly. Our shelves are stocked and ready. Hassle-free shopping for your busy life. Anson Mini Mart, everyday shopping made easy. From our home to yours. Anson Mini Mart is now open to serve you. Call 220-0505 or check out our Anson Macau Guyana Facebook page for more details.
In the construction and housing sector right now, Duravilla Homes Guyana has launched its 1,000-plus modular homes initiative with the intention of constructing hundreds of affordable prefabricated houses for both the local and regional housing markets. Duravilla Guyana Inc. forms part of a fully integrated group of timber companies from across the country, which include logging, sawmilling, and manufacturing companies. The eco-friendly houses are made from green heartwood, which is one of the most durable types of wood on the local market. In his address at the launching on Wednesday, President Finale said with the country's housing sector now booming, it is well on its way to providing housing solutions to countries in Latin America and the Caribbean through the exportation of the prefab houses. It is estimated that more than $310 billion is required to fill the housing deficit in Latin America and the Caribbean and Guyana. According to President Finale, Guyana needs to better position itself to tap into the regional housing sector.
There are therefore opportunities for Guyana to capitalize on this demand for decent housing. But to do so, Guyana must be able to develop competitive housing solutions, and that is what we are working on. Competitive quality housing solution. The construction of prefabricated housing is therefore an emerging market, one which Guyana can and must tap in order to boost local manufacturing, and the spin-off effects are enormous.
Already, Duravilla has signed an agreement with the National Housing Corporation for the construction and delivery of 100 of the prefab houses to Barbados. In applauding the company for providing housing solutions to not only Guyana but also to the Caribbean, President Ali said the houses are of a superior quality.
Not only is this product a timber home, this product is a timber home that meets all the international requirements that Barbados need for a hurricane-proof and earthquake. That is no easy accomplishment. And everything engineered locally. Everything engineered locally.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines is also set to purchase a number of the prefab houses from Guyana. Head of Dura Villa Homes, Rafi Khan, said his company intends to raise the bar for the housing sector locally with the production of high-quality timber homes. He explained that so far it has been a challenging journey, filled with many obstacles, but the company is up to the task of taking on new challenges.
Today, we are launching this project for 100 plus homes. Guess what's going to happen? We closed the year last year with $34.5 million of export. And I would like to make a bold statement here with the support, not just from our staff and employees and the government of Guyana, but the support from the small loggers, from the operators across the country. We will and we could double Guyana's export by the time we close this year by $60 million, and I would like to challenge us to do this together.
The Dura Villa company is hoping that home builders locally and those in the Caribbean will see the high quality of its work and sign on to make some purchases. Turning our attention now to that Commission of Inquiry into the 2020 elections. Elections Commissioner Says Gunraj today admitted that he did not have the required pass to proceed to the third floor of the GCOM Command Center at the Ashman's building back in March of 2020, when he was reportedly stopped by the then Deputy Chief Election Officer, Roxanne Myers. During his earlier testimony before the COI, Mr. Gunraj alleged that Ms. Myers had blocked him from following the then Region 4 Returning Officer Clement Mingo to the third floor of the Command Center. Today, while being cross-examined by Myers' attorney and Nigel Hughes, Mr. Gunraj reiterated his earlier position and contention, but he admitted that he did not have the required tag to proceed to the third floor.
He was proceeding from the first, he had proceeded from the first to the second floor, presumably to the third floor because I was behind him and I was prevented from going further by Ms. Myers.
Questioned about whether there were security measures in place restricting access to various sections of the command center, Mr. Gunraj responded in the affirmative. Importantly, a tag was required to access the third floor, he said.
Would it be correct to say that there were security measures which restricted different people from different levels of the commission at that time?
Yes.
And those measures included having tags, so the tags which indicated who had access to where, is that correct?
Correct.
And did you have a tag for the third floor?
I did not.
Gunraj also told the commission that no tag was required for the second floor, where an office for the Elections Commission was set up, along with the logistics department and other facilities. The attorney Nigel Hughes further attempted to question Mr. Gunraj on whether Ms. Myers had justified her actions when called upon by the Elections Commission to show cause why her services should not be terminated, but that question was not allowed. Meanwhile, Minister of Agriculture Zulfikar Mustafa also appeared before the high-level commission today, telling the commission that weeks before the March 2020 elections, he had repeatedly written to the then Chief Election Officer Keith Lowenfield requesting a number of electoral documents, but had encountered several difficulties. Mustafa was an agent of the PPP Civic during the last elections. On the 17th of February 2020, he also stated that by way of a letter, he notified the Chief Election Officer at the time that Mr. Mansour Nadir would be appointed as the party's assistant election agent, and later of the appointment of Charles Ramson Jr. as the counting agent for the PPP Civic.
Anson Mini Mart is now open to serve your everyday wants and needs. Our experienced pharmacists will help you feel your best, ensuring you bring home everything you need. We guarantee you will come back for everything you want. Our team is friendly. Our shelves are stocked and ready. Hassle-free shopping for your busy life. Anson Mini Mart, everyday shopping made easy. From our home to yours. Anson Mini Mart is now open to serve you. Call 220-0505 or check our Anson Macau Guyana Facebook page for more details.
Food Max Supermarket, located on the ground floor at the Giftland Mall, is your one-stop shop for all your grocery needs. We stock a variety of imported frozen meat and food products, fresh produce, and pet supplies, freshly made bread. Rotisserie chicken and patties are also available daily. Shop in comfort today at Food Max and let our courteous staff assist you in satisfying your shopping needs. Food Max, the fresh food specialist.
It's one of your biggest goals, getting your own home, where memories are made, where happiness lives. You may feel that home ownership or renovation is beyond your reach, but we at Republic want you to know that there's always a way. Ask us about our suite of mortgages. Let's help make your housing wishes come true. Or advise on how the equity in your existing home can finance other dreams and goals. Call or go online to learn more.
Get in the game with Buster. Win a full gaming setup, Xbox X, gaming chair, gaming speaker and headset, or any of over 60 weekly prizes like Oculus Quest 2, Mini 2 drone, Nintendo Switch, and many more top gaming prizes. Check below for details.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up, fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up, protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive.
Across the region tonight, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, under the leadership of its new police commissioner, Earl Herwood Christopher, has vowed to go after the Mr. Bigs in crime. And they are promising the country will see a reduction in crime this month and in the future. The police service members yesterday appeared before the Joint Select Committee on National Security on behalf of the police commissioner, who was unable to attend as she was set to be engaged in matters of national security. One member of that special committee, Independent Senator Paul Richards, noted that the people of Trinidad and Tobago are paralyzed with fear. He asked whether police service strategies are really working given the crime data. The ACP Criminal Division, Winston Maharaj, admitted the approach used by the police in the past has not yielded expected results, but said they have adopted a new paradigm. He said this is something that they intend to operationalize in conjunction with the proceeds of the Crime Act. The police officials said a system is now in place and will be worked on to reduce the crime situation in Trinidad and Tobago. In neighboring Brazil, a major operation to drive out illegal miners from indigenous land is underway. Government officials burned a plane and seized boats, weapons, and petrol used by the miners in a remote region of the Amazon rainforest, which belongs to an indigenous group. Thousands of illegal gold miners have invaded the indigenous reserve on Brazil's border with Venezuela. The raid is part of a larger policy to halt the advance of illegal mining across Brazil. It is a joint operation by Brazil's Environmental Protection Agency, the Indigenous Affairs Department, and Special Forces. With an estimated 20,000 illegal miners dispersed throughout the dense jungle region, officials said the aim of the raids was to interrupt the flow of supplies rather than to target individual settlements. And finally tonight, international news. The BBC reports that Nicaragua has released 222 of the 245 opposition prisoners it was holding. The freed prisoners, who are critics of President Daniel Ortega, have been deported to the United States. The U.S. State Department welcomed the move, which it said had been made unilaterally by the Nicaraguan government. Among those freed are opposition politicians who had planned to run against Mr. Ortega in the 2021 election, but who were jailed in the run-up to those elections. With his fiercest opponents in prison, Mr. Ortega won a fourth consecutive term in the election. He has been in power without interruption since 2007. Nicaraguan opposition sources said those freed have been stripped of their Nicaraguan nationality, and an official from the Nicaraguan judiciary described them as traitors who had been deported. And that's your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley reporting and encouraging you to stay safe.